right, good afternoon. Welcome to the Main Street Alliance Board meeting. Today is Monday, September 19th, and it is 5:15. We do have a quorum present, so we will call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda is to review the last board meeting minutes and review the financials. And if there are any questions to the board regarding what's been presented, do we have a motion to accept the minutes and financials as they stand?
I make a motion to accept the minutes and financials as they stand.
Thank you, Bonnie. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Cottrell. All in favor? Minutes and financials are accepted as they stand. The next item on the agenda is to consider and act upon the acceptance of resignation for Miss Deborah Roden.
Jonathan, I'm sorry I didn't get this email to you. To get it with her signature on it, it would not enlarge for our minutes. So I do have the original resignation she sent, if you'll allow me to read it for you.
Okay.
It says, please accept this as official notice of my resignation for my position on the Mount Vernon Main Street Board. My last day is today, August 25th, 2022. I am grateful for having the opportunity to work with you and the board. I thank you for your understanding in this matter as I focus my full attention on my business and transition back to Pittsburgh where it is located. I wish you, the board, and the town of Mount Vernon more success going forward. My wish and hope is that all business owners model and support all businesses with action shown to their employees. This allows more inclusiveness, success, and unity in this wonderful community I have grown to love and appreciate. Sincerely, Deborah Rook.
All right. Do we have a motion to accept Deborah's resignation?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Gary.
I'll second it.
Thanks, Bonnie. All in favor? The next item on the agenda is to review and consider the application for Miss Lauren Herman for the vacancy of the position. And I believe Annetta has something she would like to review with us.
Per our bylaws, the Franklin County Historical Commission shall recommend a board member to our board, and they did so, and Lauren graciously accepted that recommendation. So she filled out the application, and it's back over to you if you have any questions or if you want to make a motion.
I believe we have Ms. Herman here in the citizen shots that join us in the meeting today. Lauren, would you like to come to the mic and say a little bit about yourself?
Sure. All right, so I moved here 7 years ago from New Mexico. I was a real estate agent for 13 years there for Coldwell Banker. I was in their top 10% in Albuquerque, and I moved here to get off oxygen. I was on oxygen for 24 hours a day in my last year, and they don't know what it was from. They think it could have been from a scuba tank. I have 250 dives. I love to scuba dive, and I love to snow ski, and I can't do either because I can't do the altitude. And I have a daughter that lives in Plano, and my grandson. And I came here one Halloween because I always helped her with her party, and they messed up my tank, and I didn't have one. So my husband took me to security in Albuquerque. In Albuquerque, and I went through security without my tank. And when I arrived in Dallas, I didn't need it. So I went home and went, let's move. And he was nice enough to agree because we had just built a new house. And so I've been here for 7 years, and I did so well in real estate that I felt like it was time to give my time back to the community. So I do Lunches of Love. I'm in charge with Micah, and I've done that for the past 4 years. and I'm on the Historical Society Board, and I'm in the Shakespeare Club, and play canasta. I mean, I thought when I retired from real estate, all I wanted to do was read. And I went to my husband, I said, you can't read 24 hours a day. You just can't. So we live on Lake Cypress Springs, and so we're in the Franklin County. And when this came up at the Historical Board, I said I'd love to.
Very nice.
Okay,
Nice to meet you. Thank
Nice
you
to
for
meet you.
joining us tonight.
all right.
All right, if everybody's had a chance to review the application, we wanted to take, see if we have a motion on the table to accept the application.
I make a motion to accept the application.
Thank you, Control.
I'll second it.
All right, thank you. All in favor? We have acceptance of the application. Lauren, welcome to the Main Street Board.
You're welcome.
Well, pending approval from the city council at their next meeting, Lauren could possibly be on our board, so.
Very nice. We look forward to hearing back from the Main Street. I'm sorry, the city council. All right. Next big item up for discussion. Ms. Anetta's got a sheet already printed out for us. We kind of had the action item of talking about, come prepared with a couple of names for the event and kind of talk through the times that we thought would be good for the event. I know there was discussions at the last meeting of extending it into the night. There was some talk that they didn't want to extend it to the night, so we just wanted to actually come to a consensus tonight so that we can move forward with the name, get the event published, and information out to the different vendors to start the approval now. Or, I'm sorry, not the approval, but the actual process of planning now. We waited last year until, well, rather late.
Jonathan, Erica had given me a name of someone who does the painting classes.
I recall that,
call it
yes.
Painting with a Twist. I have contacted her. She is on our schedule for April 1st.
Okay.
So she knows, as soon as I got the name, I contacted her. And Jennifer has emailed a couple of beer vendors who might be interested in coming if we go the beer and wine route.
I believe it was decided at the last meeting that we were going to go ahead and include the beer. Are both the, not professional artists, but correct me where I'm wrong, the more crafted artists versus, in addition to the homemade artist crafts.
Oh, okay.
I don't believe you were here at the last meeting, but we talked about some of that. Do we have any idea of whether we want to consider both the, what I call crafts, like the glass and the picture photography and all that, plus the homemade crafts? I think the more the merrier.
The more the merrier.
Me too. It's hard to think of a reason why that wouldn't be a good idea.
And it's just the same fee across the board for everybody. We had also talked about possibly upping the fee of the beer and wine vendors, but they're going to be giving away samples with the armbands. So what's everybody's thought on upping it or leaving it alone at the same?
They're collecting the fees for the sample. So they're, they'll have extra.
What is our fee?
It's $50 if I remember. If it's $50 per vendor, according to the website,
For the wine or the?
for everybody.
Everybody.
It was the same fee across the board. But since they're selling, do we want to leave it the same, or
heard at the front was people were mad about having to pay to get in and then pay for each sample.
Well, there's nothing we can,
I mean, I think with TABC, we have to sell those so that they can remain compliant.
I will tell you, the 2 wine festivals that I've gone to, I paid a gate fee and then I paid a fee if we wanted to sample.
I've never been to another one, so.
okay, no, we're,
I think that's a pretty standard.
Pretty common.
Because of the TAC guidelines, that you can give it away for free all day long, but I believe it's part of the regulations of
Okay.
making sure they have IDs, and because they have a bartender there,
mm-hmm.
a certified TABC
Okay.
bartender there,
Mhm.
and that's when they actually do it as a sale.
Okay.
And I know that we charge $10 at the gate, and I know people complained, but I paid $25 on one of them that I went to, just to walk up and collect business cards.
And I don't think $10 is unreasonable.
No,
I think that's
no.
so cheap.
I think we did
We
it
did.
$20 last time with the discount. No, we kept it the same actually.
Yes, it was
Even with the
$10
discount,
all
so they
around.
got a lot of,
I thought so.
Yeah, because they get a bag and a glass.
and we still want to go through and encourage the businesses not to put the same special out.
Well, let's go by the list so we can keep up, because we're kind of,
Okay, sorry.
we're jumping.
Okay, so a name for the event, first of all. Any,
I'm so simple. I'm a really super simple person. Beer and Wine Festival. That's my vote. Sticking to it.
I agree with that.
I'm
I
not
would
creative,
like to
though.
add art and things like that this year also,
Okay, what?
like we did last time.
I didn't hear you.
She wants to add the word art, like we did
Art.
last time. We did
Or
art and wine.
since we're gonna have the painting class and
Art, beer, and wine.
My thinking is, and I could be totally wrong. I'm trying to think of things that are going to draw people in. Beer and the wine draw people in. Art will obviously draw a different type of crowd. Just because we're going to have art or something of that else of that nature doesn't mean we have to say it in the title.
right.
But same goes for the beer and wine. Didn't have to be in the title, but it sure does help.
It would draw people.
Sure does help. Yeah.
I don't know that it has to be in the title either. The art part.
Yeah.
That could be something that's on the flyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can for sure be advertised
yes,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
that
agreed.
way. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So beer and wine festival.
I like that.
I know there
Short
was
and
Boots and Brews at one point. There
Yeah.
was,
We could
And
do
it's
Mount
huge.
Vernon's
People
beer
are
and
more
wine
creative than we
festival.
are.
But,
There you go.
At Mount Vernon's, kind of differentiate it between.
yeah.
Yeah.
Beer and wine festival, Mount Vernon, Texas.
Mount Vernon Beer and Wine Festival.
Okay.
We good with that? Keep it
The
simple.
only thing is, put Mount Vernon somewhere in the title.
Yes.
Good idea.
Mount Vernon Beer and Wine Festival.
Good
Mhm.
idea.
Simple, to the point, location,
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah,
most
thanks.
important. Good job, team.
Thanks. I've been thinking about that for a while.
So times of the event. There was discussions of 10 to 5. There was discussions of noon to 9. And there was talk about everywhere in between.
Yeah.
So because there was some talk about drinking needing to be done at night. And some people were drink out before the restaurants really started going, and we want to drive business to the restaurants.
I would suggest to put, because it's beer and wine, I would put it like, if you're going to do it in the morning, do it more towards lunch, like 11. But you could have vendors out here and they could sell, we tried it at 10:30 one time and hardly anybody showed up.
Do we wanna do,
What time did we start at this last year?
It was
11.
wasn't it?
It was 10.
early.
10 to 5?
Yeah. I think after lunch
About
or something like that.
three
I
to,
was kind of thinking 3.
what, 8, 3 to 9?
Well, the beer and wine vendors are gonna want it worth their while.
Yeah.
To not only sell the samples, but sell their bottled
Cases.
cases of goods.
We could do like 1 to 7 or something like that, and then that way they're finished at dinner time, and they can go to one of the restaurants and eat after they've drank on the square.
And then arts and crafts vendors, are they gonna wanna, cause there's not lighting out there, are they gonna want, do we wanna maybe open it up to, since we have this nice new ramp over here, we could let vendors load and unload up that ramp and still open the grounds from like 10 to 5 for the,
Okay.
or do y'all wanna, I know, it's people,
Okay.
it's extra volunteer hours, but,
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
You're trying to drive everybody down here. So whether you have food trucks, but restaurants, so if you're open 2 meals, somebody will go food trucks for 1 meal maybe and restaurant for another. So if you can, that's the only thing I'm thinking of. And the stores
2
too.
meals is too many hours. That people will get bored and leave.
But if you do it right, it's the same number of hours.
Mhm.
They could do like 12 to 5 or.
If we did, if the wine festival was, what did we say, 10
11 to 8 maybe?
Did we say it was 10 to 5? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Well,
So in that 7 hours?
do we know what other people are doing? I mean, we're not reinventing the wheel. I mean, people do wine festivals all the time.
Yeah.
What
It's
are
usually
common
6
hours?
hours. It's usually
So we
6
did our
hours.
7.
Well, we were here,
We were here early to
It
check them
was
in.
10 and people started leaving about 3 and then it was pretty much a desert parking lot
for the
after
last
about
2
3:30.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah, it really was.
That's why I'm thinking, I mean, I don't really care what, if it's 2 meals or 1 meal, but I think if you capture more of the evening crowd, you'll have people that actually go out and drink, will come in and scope it out and then go eat or
Mhm.
whatever.
I just am thinking for the businesses to get more business. That's
And the vendors would only be, it'll be that time of year probably,
they'll want to set up at like 9 o'clock
which is,
It's
early.
too early.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we should have such a garage sale type vendor selection
No.
either. I think we should be a little bit more selective, and maybe starting so early, reaching out to people, we could get a little bit higher quality. And that side over there was like the 99-cent store. It was
What we used to do is like if somebody wanted to do Scentsy, we would only let one person do Scentsy. Now jewelry, we would probably do 4, 1 for every side of the corner.
Boutiques.
I think the boutiques and
Boutiques,
things like
yeah.
that are a good idea.
But this, nothing against it, this little Santa Clauses, we tried to stay away from that.
so we tried to stay away from the, for lack of better words, mom and pop arts and crafts.
Some of them, yeah.
It was over there, like in front of the Franklin County Water District, and they had like, it was literally like a 99-cent store, like cheap toys, like in
geared
plastic.
towards kids.
okay,
Resale.
that was not during,
That was Country Fest.
that must have been Country Fest, that was not beer and wine.
I don't remember that during
Cause
the
we
wine
only
festival.
had,
It wasn't.
we only had along
Like I totally
the,
know what you're
south
talking
side
Uh-huh.
and this west side to about the steps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
We only
it
had-
was Country Fest.
I know at Country Fest we did have the
They did
import resale.
the novelty stuff, like
Mhm.
the invisible
Okay.
ink.
Maybe
the kids
that's what
always
I'm
get.
No,
thinking.
I'm not.
Yeah, I think that's what.
I'm not. To me, that's not our.
Okay, it was
No.
Country Fest every month.
But
I
that's
think
okay, that
when
is a
we-
valid
When
point.
we reach out to vendors, I think we reach out
When we
to.
accept applications, we need to know what they're selling.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it
and like the
home
people next to
crafted? Is
us,
it-
you know, she made like these cool crosses or something. I mean, it was really neat. She sold one and one. I mean, no, she sold two, and one of them was to me. The entire day. So, I mean, obviously, that's not beneficial to. That's not what people are looking for
Yeah.
at that time. Yeah. Anyways,
We had a lot of crowd out there, but I don't think the businesses did good, but I don't think the vendors did as. But that's
Agreed.
one of their, I guess, risk. Whether
well,
there's-
that boutique that had the hats,
they were popular.
they killed it.
Poppy
Yeah.
Gray
Yeah.
or something like
Poppy
that.
Gray.
I think
Yeah.
they're planned on. I saw they come into Country Fest.
Yeah, they're great.
So it all really depends on the vendor, how they set up and what they choose to sell. That's kind of on them, huh?
We can put a criteria of what we want on the application for vendors.
You
Just
could specify it can't be. It has to be.
can't be resale
You know, it has to be.
or not resale. What's the word
I
I'm
don't know if
looking
you
for?
want to say handmade.
Well,
or-
resale is the word.
Like Poppy Gray, is that resale? Is
Yes.
that classified as resale?
Well,
It
because
should
they
be
go to
well.
market to buy it, and
Oh.
then they come here. So that boutiques are resale.
We can put,
Then that's a
Retail.
you know,
but not
no
resale.
garage sale type
Well,
items, no
garage
Second hand.
no secondhand
Yeah,
items, no
that-
profanity, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I can look at what,
And I guess the
Key
boutiques
Club
have
does with
imports
theirs.
too, so can't
Because
say
that's a
no
good
import
application.
resale.
Right.
How do you classify that?
I don't know.
what,
The weeding out the
It'll be a good problem to have.
invisible
To
ink.
weed
You
out
ba- you
Yeah.
ba-
weed out people will be a
basically-
good problem to have.
You
We didn't have that this
basically,
time.
when they come through, you have to have them approve them, but it,
Show me what you got.
yeah.
Have
It
them
can
list
get,
out.
It can get real sticky though.
I'm
It
sure.
can.
And we
Because
did
if
turn
somebody
down
says
some.
I'm selling
And we
this
just
high
said,
class,
I don't think, basically, I don't think,
I have known in the past, we have turned down people.
uh-huh.
and what kind of criteria? I
Which
mean,
is like, when we used to do just the wine festival, it had to be wine related.
Uh-huh.
Corkscrews,
Yeah.
all that stuff, it had to be wine related.
Yeah.
But
okay.
you got beer too, so.
Yeah.
It's not hard to turn them down. It really isn't. Because most of the time, they send it in, they tell you, well, handmade this or that, and we say, well, we're not really
To be
looking for
geared
that.
toward the adult crowd, or so you don't get toys and stuff like that.
Well, wine and beer, yeah. It was easy because we always turned them to like,
Totally kids.
like
know.
maybe
Yeah.
to another festival, you know, really.
Or maybe we just list out food, wine, beer, arts, or boutique.
Well, she's got a big list of vendors, so she'll just send it out to,
I'll send out a mass and
And
then,
we can just go through them.
Yeah,
for
It's
y'all.
I think that's a good idea
It's
instead
easier
of
to
just
weed out
trying
than
to.
it is to try to single out.
So did we decide on a time?
but you
No.
do want to have enough vendors to make it worthwhile to not
Right.
just,
So it's not just 4 vendors.
it's not right, because that was one of the questions last year, why do you only have 8 vendors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know in years past-
I would love the square to be packed and then put the food trucks down here
But we're gonna do food trucks.
at the splash. Well, we could
And
open.
there are certain vendors that pull in people to come look, not
Yeah.
and I'm talking craft vendors, I'm not talking about like the hats or the whatever.
I mean, it
people
would
look
be
for their
great to
stuff.
have the square packed and then have the food trucks or whatever down at
there's a,
Splash Pad parking lot.
a pecan
Okay, let's go
place
back
that
to
always
time.
pulls in
Times.
people
Yes,
too.
times. What's the general consensus on times we need to?
I just think afternoon, I don't care if it's one to
Okay.
9 or
Noon to 8 is 8 hours, and it's 2 lunch periods. The craft vendors can set up earlier if they want and leave earlier.
Okay, so, and this is in April, so it will be dark, correct?
Right. So
Like it'll get dark at like, I don't
6,
remember.
6:30.
Maybe 6:30ish.
about 11:30 to 6 or 5:30. if I knew it was gonna be light, it would be fine.
I mean, we want people to be able to enjoy it. Let me back it up. If it's after about 6, we're gonna need a light
Right,
lit
that's
area,
fine.
which we have over on Smoky Row.
We also have the lights on the square too, on the plaza.
Yeah,
We used to do it
Yes,
live in at night.
And
Yes,
it
it used to
is
be a-
pretty.
It is beautiful.
Me too. Me too. It was my favorite.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
most people that drink go out and drink in the evening. They're not.
And are we gonna have any music for them to dance to while they're drinking?
We should. I think we
Okay.
should do the
let's
same.
get back to the time.
Well, that's all part of the consideration. I understand, but
I don't care.
if they're gonna be dancing, it needs to be a little bit later. If we're not gonna have music and dancing, then we can cut it off at 6. So what would,
I definitely say if we're gonna do a beer and wine festival, music.
Yeah, music.
Let them.
Definitely, I like having the live entertainment.
4 to
We
9,
should do that again.
and the vendors can come during the day. I mean, the vendors can set up at whatever point they want to.
You need it more.
because we really don't have to manage them, do we?
No, but you don't want vendors trying to dismantle a booth space, say at 5 o'clock,
And
when
they
your
will
main
return.
crowd is there.
And they will.
Yeah, they
So
will,
they need-
and they sure will.
And they will. And so we need to make sure whatever times we set is set for everyone. That's my opinion.
Okay.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We just may not be ready to set a time. I mean, do we need to have a time set today?
Okay, well, let's go on down and
I mean,
figure
put it
out.
in it.
We can write it down and pick from a hat.
Okay, Jonathan, Taste of Town.
Okay. The letters do need to go out. We're in September. October 1st is before our next meeting, so we do need to provide them with
So then we
times.
do need
We
times.
need to figure out the time.
Let's go through the rest of it and see exactly what all we want to do. And then that can help determine our times.
Fees for early birds, something about all 3.
I left my phone at home.
What's,
Breweries, wineries, and vendors. Do we want to set an early bird fee? Say if they send in their application by December 31st, do we want to charge them
A little bit
$50? But anything,
Yes.
say,
Yes.
after December 31st, it's an extra 25.
less. I think so.
That, yes.
yes.
Okay, what are the fees? What do you want to?
50, and if they're not there by the 31st, 75.
That's going to discourage any
Mom and pop.
Last minute.
people who decide in the spring maybe they can come.
Oh,
But I think this would be for wineries and breweries so that we can get those set.
Okay.
No?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I yeah.
Since
I wasn't
they're
thinking that direction.
$18 a bottle of wine at minimal, they're making money.
No, that's fine. I was thinking more.
But vendors is
craft
just a straight $50.
like the craft vendors.
Yeah. Art vendors, craft vendors.
I mean, I see
All
the
that.
event.
You guys good
2
with
to 8.
50, 75 for the beer and wine, and then 50 straight for
6
the
hours.
For the craft people or whatever.
craft art vendors. And if you have contacts, I would love some of the higher end art people to join us, photographers, glass art, that sort of stuff.
So there's a first in October.
Because that's going to draw its own crowd. So fees, we've got that. We're back to time.
So
Okay,
Cottrell
skip
pulled
that.
up-
Skip
Hold
that.
on, tell them. Cottrell pulled up, who is it, Mount Pleasant?
It's Mount Pleasant is doing theirs next month. Their times, just so we have a reference, their times are from 2 to 8. And of course,
is
that's
6
in the
hours.
fall. That's not in the spring. So it needs to be adjusted a bit.
'Cause it
Maybe
gets-
1 to 7 or,
I'll
you know,
make one
something
to
if you're.
7.
Let's do 1 to 7.
But that gives us an idea of their time frame. They're doing 6
So,
hours.
so 6 hours?
6 hours.
That's okay.
Okay.
Because that's dinner. I mean, that's it's lunch.
I mean,
before you
general
go during-
feedback is the supply, or the beer and wine people are gonna set up for 6 hours. Is it worth their time?
I sure hope so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you'll have some vendors that want to come in the morning.
We're just gonna tell them it's from 1 to 6. Or 1 to 7, or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. 27, I think.
But hang on to that thought.
Here's the problem, okay. Just throwing this out there. I personally like the beer and wine at night
Me too.
because I think it's pretty up there.
I agree.
The problem becomes the vendors have no light.
Yeah.
And if they do have light, it's gonna be electricity to every single booth.
So there's a trade-off there.
Mhm.
I personally would rather do it at night, but
Yeah, fine.
there go your vendors.
I remember before B3 stopped happening, and the one or two that I went to, they had live music. What was his name? Stony LaRue, Stony something. Was right here. They had the beer gardens and live music, and that square was packed. But they did have some food vendors set up, and a few like T-shirts and stuff like that. But it wasn't like a craft festival. It
If
was-
we did it 2 to 8, hear me out just a second. That would allow vendors to go to other events that day
and then come to us.
and then come to us.
They won't do it.
Okay, it says sunset on April 1st, 7:41.
So we would just be cleaning up. It would be getting dark, and we could be cleaning up.
Yeah,
Or you could have a 2-day event.
I think 2 to 8.
2 to 8. That works for me.
Are we good?
Two
I'm-
to,
I'm perfect.
I'm good with 2 to 8.
2 to 8.
2 to 8.
With set up at 1,
Mhm.
set up by 1:30,
Uh,
because you want all the
Go ahead.
traffic off the.
beer vendors or beer wine set up by 1:30. Yes.
other
But they can-
vendors.
Are you telling them not to start setting up until 1?
It may take them an hour or so
No,
to.
what I'm
They have
saying
to
is,
be complete.
Be
they
set up.
have
I
to
got it.
be already set
Got
up
it.
by 30.
1:30. Yeah.
Okay, this is a Saturday. How crowded is it down here on Saturday?
I think by 2 o'clock, things have cleared out a little bit.
From the lunch crowd and
Yeah. I think,
This town is dead at 3.
yes.
Yeah.
It is.
But we're gonna have to be here probably 11:30, 12 to go ahead and get everything blocked
Mhm.
off for everything.
yeah.
Okay,
Reed Southall, that's who was here.
do you want to have the, beer and wine garden on the square, on the plaza part? Okay,
And the music down under Smoky Row.
okay, we'll get to that in a second.
Okay. I believe back to Taste of Town. I believe we did say that we would possibly name it something else, but go ahead and promote that for all of the businesses.
Like for the sample or the little discount or whatever.
Yeah, and ask them not to promote it. But we also, there was a question about drawing of beer and wine if they completed the card or something. To me, that's just very hard to take. If somebody offers a discount off of something, to go try to, if it's just a tasting, I think they could very well go taste everything. But if it's trying to buy from everybody and take advantage, I don't see where that's.
I would rather not do the tasting. This year.
I think it was confusing last year
Mhm.
because we had businesses that were a little confused as to what they were supposed to do. The one or two that did, I think were clear on everything, but some of the others, And then we had businesses that were offering the same discount as what was on the Taste of Town.
I think we
coupon.
learned from that, just need to be a little bit more clearer on our presentation.
But I think if we're having it late in the evening, I'm like Bonnie. My personal opinion is not do it, but let them know that they're, different businesses may be having, like the retail may be having sales.
We could still hand out the
I was
map
gonna
that
say,
Jonathan made.
That was such a
And
good
just
map.
not
Yeah.
offer a discount or whatever,
Yeah.
just say, visit the local businesses.
Mhm.
Yeah.
whatever.
And I've got an updated one too, with every business downtown.
I think that would be
So
good.
they
Yeah.
we could give them a map in their bag, and let them go wherever they wanted to go.
So if the businesses were have a sale or something, would it be benefit if they want to publish a sale, do it through us to put on the back of that card?
Either the card or they could print off their own flyers
Yeah, I
and
think
give them
it's
to
up
us.
to the business to do their
Yeah.
own advertising.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, they
That's
could.
fine.
I was just thinking something that would use
they
that
could-
card to drive it.
They could print out their own advertisements and get them to me, and
Mhm.
I'll put them in the bags.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good idea.
good idea.
And that way, if the restaurants want to have a special meal, they can do their own little sale or whatever inside.
I think that's good.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so we'll let them do their own promotions. Okay.
With the opportunity to provide a flyer.
Mm-hmm.
How much do we want to pay entertainers to play during the day?
How much did we pay last year? Was it?
It's like 200.
I'm thinking 150 or 200.
It was 200 for 2 hours,
For
if
2
I remember
hours.
correctly.
Yeah.
And the bands that I had talked to, that was right in line with what they normally get.
So being 2 to 8, there's
They do 2-hour sets.
that was
Yeah.
an opportunity for
Right.
3
Yeah.
artists or 3 musician sets. And the last one we would want to make sure it's
A good one.
a good one set for dancing or
So there's a local band here. Jeff Nicholson is like the lead
Yes.
singer or something.
Yes.
They performed at the little street dance that the cheerleaders did. I had contacted them last year, but she didn't get back to me until too late, and so we already had our entertainment. But I think they would do it, and they're a whole band with dancing music and.
I can get the connection too on that one.
Oh, I've got their number.
Oh.
right
would
here.
we want the same band for they couldn't perform the same band for
No,
6
I wouldn't
hours.
do it for 6 hours, but they could be the closer, like in the
Mhm.
evening when people are here dancing. And then the ones that we had last time, Brady Watson was good, and
And that lady that
Callie
was
Howard.
Callie Howard was
Callie.
good.
And then the Reeves boy, he was really good as well.
Yeah,
Lee
they
Reeves.
dueled up to
I would probably split the Reeves boy and Callie like an hour each, and then Brady, he just sat right there.
Brady and Reeves did this is the one that split the time. Callie had the full.
Yeah, I would
We-
split Callie and.
I would
the
think so
Reeves.
too.
We can throw it out there and see which ones
Mhm.
want their time slots.
Very good.
If we split their time, there's not gonna be a whole lot of time for them to set up.
Mhm. They didn't have a lot of setup, thankfully. They just set up right there at the gazebo. It was perfect.
Okay.
I do know that Craig Watson is the one who did the speakers for that.
For Brady.
For his
Well, he
son,
did.
Brady.
Well, he did them for all.
Oh, well, because Brady,
Oh,
his
I
son,
saw
was
one time.
first.
Right,
And so
but
he set up.
we paid him to because
And Callie had her own.
our speakers, someone who knows anything about them is going to have to check them out. So I don't.
Well,
I
if
can
we
take a
hire
look at
Brady,
them.
we can get his dad to do do it again.
I
But
can
yes,
take
he
a look.
provided the
I was like,
speakers for the whole
I have some
event.
contacts at church.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll let Cottrell kick in on that one.
No, you're my contact. You're my contact at church.
I know a little bit about sound. Not a whole lot, but a little. Enough to
I just know how to talk into them.
make it work.
It's the Marcus Lindsay band that just came to me. That's the.
Good job. Are we gonna do it MC again?
Yes,
We'll get somebody to do that.
Yeah.
do it for free.
Jennifer can do it again. She was
A
good.
volunteer.
She was good.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Yeah, Jennifer was good.
Bathrooms, yes.
And Lisa Lowry.
Do we
does
want
it a
them
lot,
on the
Does she?
north side and south side this time?
too. There's nothing.
I don't know that we
bathroom.
want anything.
I thought it was great right there.
Me too.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because you don't really want to advertise them, but they were cool bathrooms.
yeah. They were.
Literally.
They were neat.
Literally.
Because you froze going into them.
They were cool.
I mean,
As far as bathrooms go,
ADHs couldn't have bathrooms.
I bet.
We
If
could
you're gonna
bathrooms
have
like
porta
88.
potties, that's
Have you
the
been down there yet?
Well, my sister got married there.
that's the ones to use.
That was a long time ago. A long time.
Before these
That
people
beat
went
the
home.
old fashioned
I don't
porta
know. I
potties.
mean, it would be like,
I believe it was 550, but
no, 2011.
if I'm not mistaken, they
With that big of a house.
And it was
gave
at
us
a big
something
house.
bigger than
Yep.
what they were
Sure was.
supposed to, didn't they?
Yep.
So, can we have what I ordered?
So we will ask.
So food trucks, there was discussion about those. I believe we do need to have food
Yes, I
trucks.
do.
Whether we
Yes.
get closer to the moment and set the number of food trucks, or just let it be all. I think just let it be all out, and depending on the number we have is where we end up locating them.
I do have I do know somebody that does a crawfish food truck.
Bring them on.
I
I
think
think as
that
long as they're
would be
not
neat.
right on the plaza,
Here, and they wanted to do it.
yeah, it's kind of stacked.
Put it on food trucks there.
Yeah,
I
they
think
had
either
just
if they're
started.
over here or down at the
Let's
like
do
the
over
splash
here.
pad
Yeah.
parking
No,
lot.
over
Well,
here.
the bathroom's over here, so.
Over here. Oh,
Yeah.
And you're going to want to keep.
Splash pad is too far.
Yes, I think so too.
but see, we had.
We could, I was gonna say Smoky Road, but that wouldn't be good. That's right there by Jennifer's business.
Well, the bathrooms could be there, but we had food trucks on both sides.
Yeah. I'm thinking of like Country Fest. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
They're just all right there. And what about the carriage ride? Do we want to do that again?
That's
Oh,
the
I
next
think
on.
so.
Yes.
Yeah.
If that guy's still around, I haven't seen him. Have you?
I've seen them in Sulphur Springs.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good, good, good.
Yeah, that horse was exhausted or something.
Yeah, no.
Well, you should have
Samson.
set him up.
His name was
It's a little
Samson.
scary.
It was exhausting.
Renting the tents for demos. Do we want to? We talked about demos, but with their music being right there, is it going to overpower the demos, or do we put demos away from the music?
I don't even know if we're doing it in an evening time, if we need to have
All those demos.
demonstrations. Well, I don't, what do y'all think?
And what kind of demos are we talking about? I don't remember.
Something food, art, or wine related.
I think especially if we're gonna have beer.
Maybe
if we're
that
gonna
might make
incorporate
the
beer,
restaurants
I don't take that
happy.
more spot.
that we might is let them do a demo if they would like to.
Well, doing it 2 to 6, they're busy.
They're busy. That's their
preparing
busy.
for
Oh,
evening.
Or 2 to
Oh,
8.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
their
not a
busy
courteous-
time.
Never mind.
Yeah,
The
2 to 8.
or 2 to 8. 2 to 8. I think it's 6 hours. But
I don't.
I do have people that were interested in coming and like doing the painting stuff or drawing stuff. Not painting. You had painting, drawing. Like I was trying to find a caricature artist
That would be cool.
after our
That
last
would be
meeting,
cool.
and I kept getting messages from people that do charcuterie boards. I'm like, I know how to spell caricature, so I don't know what's wrong with that. But they, yeah, charcuterie. They kept responding to me. So if I can find somebody that actually does like a cartoonist or charcuterie, not charcuterie, caricature, It'd be so fun.
You know, there
I think
might
that'd
be somebody in the high school or junior high
Yeah.
art
Yeah.
class that might be able to do that.
I think that'd be neat. A neat
Yeah.
thing to do.
So about the only one that would be concerned is what the needs of the paint by number or whatever
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
the painting with a twist needs.
She just needed like a tent.
That's painting by number for me.
Water
And
trees.
and tables.
I mean,
And tree,
not trees.
Trees.
Tables.
She needs treats.
The more I get confused on my words, the worse it's gonna get.
okay.
Yeah, she didn't need a whole lot.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
And she will also do a lot of her own promotions. And that is another thing. She does charge a set fee. Do we want to charge $5 to $10 more to make some money off the event?
I would say 5 maybe, but not.
$5
5.
And we're talking about $5 more for what? Are
on
we,
top of her fee. Like she'll charge $40 for you to participate.
oh,
So
and maybe we say
up it to
45.
45, so we
Mhm.
make $5 off each person.
So how are we gonna?
Yeah.
Who's gonna be there monitoring that?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, she'll.
Oh,
She'll
no.
collect it.
She will make an event on Facebook and promote
because
it.
that's right. Because she gets the money beforehand.
Yes.
Yes.
So she could do
She can do
45.
up to 20.
Okay.
So, and
But
I,
how long are the sessions?
well, she's doing one so far.
I think it's like 2 hours.
I was thinking 2 hours.
And that's a fun thing too.
Yeah.
The time I went, it was at the Cove, and you drink while you're doing
Yeah.
it, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I've got to ask TABC though if she is off the main grounds, if that's going to be allowable for them to bring their own.
True.
It
They're
was
entering.
one other time when we because people would take their wine and would go around to the vendors drinking.
I would too.
Yeah, we've got to
I've definitely done that, but it's been a while.
verify with TABC because I know that.
So
that's
whether
a-
we need to put her on in a 10 on the square or
we'll
we can
see.
do.
We'll see what we have to do.
Okay. So,
But we do have 3 canopies. We should have plenty of wine glasses and bags left from previous events. And we can hand those out until supplies last. And we also have aprons we can sell too if we need to. I've just got to see how many
We
we've
still-
got.
I thought we had almost sold out of all those. Never mind.
she found some more probably.
I think I'm finding more and more.
Um,
So, you know, we could
Oh.
monitor a booth space somewhere and sell what we have left. One of the events that I went to, basically, they had a set amount of wine glasses and a set amount of bags, and when those were gone, you paid your fee and you went out. Now, they did try to have enough wine glasses for everybody, or the little cups. But when you run out of bags, you run out of bags.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of bags and glasses.
Flipping over your page, that's where we're leading up to. So organization needed. So we kind of need kind of a leader of stuff where we can. The gates, if we could get possibly the Key Club to. Didn't they volunteer?
You know we love the gates.
Yeah, Katrina.
Okay.
That's our
Gates.
spot.
Okay, never mind.
We got this.
Before we start volunteering other organizations, let's look at our own our board members.
Well, I was thinking they volunteered like a 2-hour time or something.
Yeah. No, it
No,
was
Cottrell
while
and
we
Erica.
had 2 people show up that were not explaining things. And
Got it.
I'm sorry about that.
Got it.
So Cottrell and I, we got that.
You got that. Got it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Well, it was a little confusing.
So,
It was one of these.
breweries, wineries,
Sorry about
Annetta's going to take the craft vendors.
I've got a
in here, we might want to put art vendors,
One and the phone numbers.
Okay.
or is that going to be arts and crafts
Just whatever.
that you're taking on?
I do have a master list that I've compiled of everything together from previous events. So,
Okay.
We're still putting in.
and we can
Should
discuss
have
that
a list
later.
of artists that I sent over
There is
to
that's
Kathy
how people. That's how the vendors would.
last
And
fall.
then you need wristbands.
I'll look and see. I've got
Yeah, we.
several, I haven't gone through the major files from last year. I just kind of pulled out some things.
Once
but
we
I'll
get a
look.
flyer and design made for this, there's all sorts of things in Texas and blogs and all that stuff that we can post it to.
Mhm.
And I think when I looked at the car shows and stuff, I happened to come across some that were also art related. We were just too far close to the events to post them. Because a lot of people's schedule, especially those professionals, they're booked first of the year. They have their entire year planned out.
What, are they just bringing their art and setting up inside?
Yeah, she
Mhm.
just didn't want to have a taste.
I know one year we had several that sold pottery
Here's the map.
and stuff because I bought several pieces from that.
But it was only like an hour.
And I've been to one at one time where a photographer had some nice photography pieces, landscape and close up of animals and nature, and some even were cowboy related, and they were nice mounted pieces.
I know.
Well, it won't be that difficult.
So, looking at we can
One gate we need
not put this off,
the wheelchair.
but we can put it off, should I say? Be thinking about on these organizations
Here and
that is needed from, to see if there's anything that each of you would like to. We already have the gates.
I'd be happy to help with the entertainment part,
Okay.
because I can get in touch with, I don't have a contact for Callie, but I do for Lee
I
and
have a
Brady.
contact for Callie through Facebook,
That's right.
and Jennifer has her phone number.
So, I'd be happy to help with that part.
And then Lee.
I think basket weaving is out.
Okay, do we want to do the demonstrations? Didn't y'all say no demonstrations?
I believe the general consensus was no demonstrations because of the time of the evening.
Okay, the food I have on there is for the food trucks.
So I'll definitely talk to the crawfish folks.
Do you want to take that and maybe tag team it?
Sure.
Okay. Because I think there's several East Texas events and Facebook pages and stuff that we
Once
can.
you do this,
Now, I do want to
Barbecue?
tell you this. Before you send out any emails, anything, contact information, be sure you contact me first to make sure proper wording or whatever. It has to come through the Main Street office before you sign off on anything. You might just see if they're potentially available for April 1st and all their contact information, where once we get everything settled, then I'll start sending out stuff
Okay. So it's okay for me to text
and
just
say, hey,
tentatively.
yes, would you be interested? And then text me all their contact
And that
information,
night
and
shift.
then I can send them
the band
whatever we
at night.
do.
Erica,
I'm sorry
the
for that.
band for homecoming at night.
Yeah,
Bonnie
text
has
them right now.
volunteered for the registration on the day of the event. And normally Lily runs the hospitality room.
Yes.
I have not talked to her to see if she still wants to do that. I have a meeting with her Wednesday, so
Okay.
I'll ask her.
She will.
I was like, she's right across the hall from me.
I can go
Right.
ahead and start on flyers if you want me to,
She definitely will.
Yes.
and
That's her
then
thing.
let you
Yeah,
look at it and
she's good.
and see.
And like I said, I've got an updated map of all of Main Street businesses.
Can we get them a little bit different printed than what they were last time?
Well, it depends on how much money we spend
Well,
before I get them.
they kind of ventured off the page. I like that size, but some of the print
Well, I'm
ventured
thinking big size is what I'm thinking.
bigger.
Well, I'm
No.
thinking
See, to
normal
me,
paper size.
It was handy.
Oh,
like
the
having it-
flyers.
having it like
Oh, yeah, we could do
half
the
page
flyers
on that.
poster size if we wanted to.
Just
And I liked that.
all,
Not a
all
big
the
piece
print
of
on the
paper.
Yeah, I
page.
know.
It was
We'll
a
talk
full
about
screen
that.
size.
Okay.
Because we have several places we can take it and see if they can print them.
No,
on
the
them.
ones that were up here were fine. It's just except for some of the wording was
Okay, we'll talk about
outside the margins.
that. Okay, so I've put your name down on
Okay,
that.
so all that's done.
I'll go ahead and start looking at design. All right. Other ideas, encourage Arts Alliance to have a special display or artist. What were your thoughts on there?
I was thinking if there was somebody that wanted to do a special show or exhibit, that might be a good time to do it.
Down at
Where
the
we
Arts
could-
Alliance
yes,
and
at
send
the
people.
Arts Alliance, where we could push people down there, and that would help Gay's business. Anything that we can do extra to help our retail businesses would work, but also to draw attention to our Arts Alliance.
These are all good ideas.
And then I know the Historical Association, Lauren and I are going to say, would probably be glad to open the museums and do all kinds of stuff down there. They don't know that yet. We'll bring that up at our next meeting. I thought the genealogy room might be open to show different things that they do, and maybe the library would do some kind
John
of
Meredith
special event.
Museum.
Well, that's historical society.
Yeah, that's all the historical.
People love that.
I know that they're going to have, the Historical Association is going to have a big deal on Country Fest Day down there.
Good.
This town will be rocking
Mm-hmm.
on October 8th. Literally from first thing in the
Yes.
morning, all areas of Main Street, and then it's going to end with the dueling pianos at the
Yeah.
Glove Factory.
Yeah, last year we just went out.
So
Yeah.
it,
That's fun.
it will
Sure.
be really good.
I enjoy doing it.
All right. So, any more? If you think of people you want to volunteer to.
We always tell our husbands. They'll do whatever we tell them.
Okay.
Mine will too.
Perfect.
I'm sure Crystal will lend the golf cart again.
Yes.
I'm sure.
I have one now.
Do you do? Okay.
We may need both of them.
Well, I guarantee it.
We could have a little petting zoo from Jonathan with his big
Oh gosh.
I have a wagon this year. I bought one of those portable wagons to carry because when I went to get on the golf cart, two people who shall remain nameless were on the golf cart and I never could find it.
It's probably
I
our
have a
husbands.
wagon.
I was like,
Because
that
they were
would be our
taking out
husbands.
trash and
Yes.
Yeah.
running back and forth for us.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to page them to get a ride somewhere.
Well, that's before I had phone numbers.
Oh yeah.
All right. Thanks for working through that. I think we finally have some good details on the in print.
We really did get a lot accomplished on
Um,
narrowing stuff down.
Okay, so probably we won't get the Marcus Lindsay band. She said it's a $1,500 fee if they perform. So I think we just stick to Lee, Brady, and Callie. Are y'all good with that? Because we don't pay $1,500.
no, we just need to consider who's the closer.
Well, I do have, Chase Glover. He did tell me
Chase would be a good
that
one.
they're out of
actual
Winsboro.
band,
They're a real live
the
band. They come and do
Sheepdogs
Silver
or
Springs.
something like that.
And if at night you have to do a little bit more.
They are like, they do like the weekend nights in Silver Springs a lot of times,
On
and they
the
do
square or plaza in Silver Springs.
cover music, and they also do original music. But they're real. They get people going.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
really good. I
And that's
forgot
what we
about
want.
that.
He
I think
told
that
me
would be
he
a
would
good
do it.
closer. Yeah,
Maybe
Okay.
we would,
I'll find
I
out.
should look them up.
we could split somebody, like, instead of 2 hour segments, put them in an hour and a half and then put a
Pay more for the
2 to
evening.
3 hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, do you want the entertainment on the plaza, or do you want it,
I think down on the Smoky
Smoky Row.
Row.
okay,
I like the plaza, but if the majority says
I like
Smoky Row,
hearing
whatever.
some sort of music on the plaza.
Me too.
If the music's
I'm
on
picturing-
Smoky Row,
I'm
are we
picturing
gonna lose
Chase.
our audience?
Right. I'm thinking we should
They're all
have all
gonna
the
go
fun
down
right
there
here.
or not?
I'm just thinking we don't have any dancing space. If we're trying to drive beer and dancing,
Well, if we have dancing space right there,
They
And
could
then
just
the
dance in the
last one-
street.
We're gonna close off these streets, right?
yeah.
but if we've got food
So you
trucks in
got
the
a
middle,
whole-
what if, but your food trucks are gonna be on the square side, what if you did your entertainment directly in front of the courthouse?
Right here. Is that what you're saying, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
middle of the, you know, because I know Country Fest several years, when they first started with the trailers and the entertainment, they parked it right there, just this side of the Rotary Pancake.
well, it's always been down there in front of Steve-O's until Steve-O got upset.
It started out down
It
there.
did?
Yes,
Okay.
it was there for years before they moved it to the corner.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
But I mean, we can make that
But-
decision later, but
Well, and I think we do need to be respectful though when the time comes to make sure that we're not blocking businesses that are open. Because remember, Lindsay said something because the horse and buggy guy was loading and unloading right in front of her store.
Oh.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's not for right now, but just later on, we should be considerate of
Or-
businesses.
maybe the closing entertainment could be on Smoky Row.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Everybody else may be on the square, and then maybe
Or even
Yeah,
just right
that,
here.
that makes
I
sense.
just think
Yeah.
Smoky Row is too far away. Like, I never think, oh, let's go hang out on Smoky Row when I'm on the
But
plaza.
then you also have to worry if they're drinking and crossing the road.
Yeah.
If they're right
Who's
here,
gonna get
it's all
pancaked?
together.
And there's like electricity, like
Yeah.
that's not an issue for
And
I
them.
by
would have
that
the dance
time,
right
Lindsay's
basically
closed.
there. Yeah.
So
We
I
would
think
need
have
to,
go
we,
closer right here.
we would need to encourage our businesses though to stay open till 8, I would think.
I think that's a good idea.
And
Because
if
that's
they
the
choose not
primary
to,
purpose
that's
of trying to draw people down for the economic vitality
right.
of our town
Yeah.
and promote our town as our businesses downtown.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Do we have any committee reports?
No.
We will soon.
The only thing with design, we have new banners up, new fall banners up around the square, and that goes under the promotion also.
Oh, awesome.
Um,
I do like these better than the other ones. The other ones to me looked fallish too. The green ones.
oh, the farmer's market one?
Yeah, they look like fall also. But these are much better.
I think they're bright. They were a little darker maroon than what I intended, but
No, I like these. They're definitely,
I think they're eye-catching.
yeah.
Does the city put these up or does the SWEPCO?
The city did.
Okay.
My city guys did.
Okay.
And I think they're supposed to put up, I think there's 4 big banners for Country Fest.
There's one already up down.
Okay, they were supposed to put those out too. I haven't driven around to see
And
what
they
all's been put out.
used to put one out on the Lowe's truck out on the interstate. I don't know if it's up there or not.
That's that one. There's one out there by Laney Ramsey, and there's one up here on the corner by the Welcome Center.
Yes.
But I think Lee and Sears put those out.
Okay.
I think there's one down here also. And there's one on the square, I mean on the plaza.
On the horse rail.
On the what?
Horse rail.
Yes.
Okay.
Annetta, what is the fee? So if I contact them and they say, well, how much does it pay?
If it's the evening, I would think there might she left, but I was thinking there could be a little flexibility.
Well, I'll give you an idea. I was looking back through my message where I talked to Chase back in May about them performing in October because we were talking about doing an October event, and we said 300
Okay.
is
Yeah.
what we had said for a
Okay.
2-hour spot.
Let me determine that amount with Kathy,
Okay.
because I'm given a budget,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and we can't exceed that budget, so
Yeah.
we've got to make
and
sure.
that's who I got it from. That's who I got the number from. Now, the number might be a different number for next year.
Right.
Well, and the closer maybe pay them a little bit more, cause they're a band with the production, and then these young people that just have their guitar or whatever, they could be maybe a little less.
I'll get with her and see
Okay.
what she thinks,
Okay.
since she's the one who writes the checks.
Depending on-
We just want to make sure we don't go over our budget.
Mhm.
Um,
Is that it?
so other than the banisters, I don't have anything to add to the committee reports. Oh, I do too. Promotion. I've put together the Welcome to Mount Vernon Main Street bags. I've got to get some to Crystal to put in the cottages, but there are some down at the Fire Station Museum that Lauren and Audrey, as people come in, if they would like to get a bag, they can get a bag with all kinds of promotional stuff from downtown merchants.
Okay.
And they turned out really well. I had quite a bit of stuff. They also have a map of every business downtown. They also have a listing of everything. We also have business cards and coupons and you name it, we've got it in there. So that's a good way to get everything promoted.
The businesses have been good because they give me things to put in those.
They're really good too,
Yeah.
or they have been when I've
Yeah.
asked.
All right, last item on our agenda is, well, next to last item on our agenda is manager update.
The only thing I have, believe it or not today, I submitted 2 nominees to our Texas Downtown Awards. One did not make it, which was the cottages at the Glove Factory for new construction. But the Glove Factory is one of 3 finalists under the Best Renovation, Rehabilitation, and Restoration Award.
Oh,
So that is a huge
Yeah.
honor. And I think Crystal is as excited as I am about that.
because
So-
Edwards has gotten one, and so has Emporium.
Yes.
Oh, this would be kudos.
And then next year we have several other businesses, once they complete all of their renovations and things, if they get all the information to me, then I can get all of that submitted. But this year we did the 2 submissions, and I was very excited that the Glove Factory was honored.
Awesome.
And also, we will be doing, we will go to the President's Gala on November 2nd in San Marcos. There is also something that will happen. They will do a People's Choice Award, and that People's Choice Award will be voting online for each individual business, I think, whether they were selected as a finalist or not. So once I get that email, I am sending you a link, and you send it to anybody and everybody, because we want to bring it home to Mount Vernon this year. So,
Sounds good. All right, last and final. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
All in favor?
who was my second?
Who was it?
I can say.
Bonnie and Cottrell.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. We got a lot done tonight. Thank you.
I think having this was really good.
Yes.